First of all, I'm giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh in the name of his only begotten Son, Yahweh Shah, whom the world called Jesus Christ. And salutations to the Akim that's laboring in the truth. Peace and blessings to the blessed elect scattered across the four corners of the earth. And without further ado, let's get right into this lesson. This is 2 John 1 and 6. And it reads, "And this is love, that we walk after his commandments. This is the commandment, that as ye have heard from the beginning, we should walk in it." And because I'm bringing out this scripture, this lesson rather, I'm hoping that the Lord show mercy that I'm able to edify, because I hear a lot of our people, say that they love the Lord, and maybe I can edify and build them up on what it really means to love the Lord, and that's keeping his commandments to the best of your ability. All right, so that's 2 John 1 and 6, one more again. "And this is love, that we walk after his commandments. This is the commandment, that as ye have heard from the beginning, you should walk in it." Now let's go get one of the many scriptures that we have heard from the beginning that we should walk in, and it's Deuteronomy 11 and 22. And it reads, let me highlight it. Deuteronomy 11 and 22. "For if ye shall diligently keep all these commandments which I command you to do them, to love the Lord your power, to walk in all his ways, and to cleave unto him, then will the Lord drive out all these nations from before you, and you shall possess greater nations and mightier than yourselves." All right, but to love the Lord your power, to walk in all his ways. So as we see, to love the Most High power is to keep his commandments. We can't necessarily buy him a flower. He created the flowers, right? We can't buy him a horse. It's nothing tangible or physical that you could buy him to show your love for the Most High power. You show your love for the Most High power by doing the things that his Son Yahweh Shah told you to do. And what he told you to do, keep the commandments and believe and have faith. All right, let's go to the next scripture I have at the ready. And this is going to be in Matthew, St. Matthew, the 22nd chapter and the 36th verse I begin. And it reads, Matthew 22 and 36. "Master, which is the great commandment in the law?" Yahweh said unto him, "Thou shalt love the Lord thy power with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. This is the first and great commandment. And the second is like unto it. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. On these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets." Now right here we just read the two commandments that we can hang all the law and the prophets, as long as we keep these two. And what Yahweh Shah did, he magnified the law. All right. Now it says, is to love the Lord, the first great commandment. Thou shalt love the Lord thy power with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. And we read in 2 John 1 and 6, this is love, that we keep his commandments. As I said before, it's nothing you can buy tangible for the Most High. In the scriptures he said if he were hungry he would not tell us. All right, so to show the Lord, show the Most High power that you love him, you believe in his only begotten Son, and you keep the commandments. Yahweh Shah died for our sins, not for us to continue sinning. He died for sins past, which means sin no more. And sin is the transgression of the law, but that's a lesson for another day. Let's continue in this thing. Let's go to John 14 and 15. And this is Yahweh Shah, it's in the red. It's Yahweh Shah speaking, and it reads, "If ye love me, keep my commandments." Now, does the Most High and Yahweh Shah have two separate commandments? No, actually it's the same commandment which we have heard from the beginning, as it says in 2 John, 1st chapter and the 6th verse. All right, and Yahweh Shah, you could go back, Yahweh Shah in St. Matthew, the 5th chapter, give you a breakdown of him magnifying the law. I believe the St. Matthew, the 5th chapter, beginning at the 16th verse. And he starts to give you a breakdown, and even mentions, paraphrasing, "If your righteousness exceed not the righteousness of the Pharisees, you shall in no wise enter into the kingdom of heaven." Meaning it's got to be of the heart, not of the letter, not as of a duty to do. All right. Well, Yahushua said, if you love me, keep my commandments. You can find that in St. Matthew, the 5th chapter, the words of Yahushua, and he give you a breakdown of the commandments as he magnified the law that was given to us from the beginning. Let's go to 1 John and the 2nd chapter, and I'm going to hit the key point and get right to it. 1 John, 2nd chapter, 3rd verse. And hereby we do know that we know him, if we keep his commandments. He that saith, I know him, and keepeth not his commandments, is a liar, and the truth is not in him. So, if you keep not his commandments, and profess that you do know the Lord, Yahushua HaMashiach, no man knoweth the Father but the Son. So, but you don't keep his commandments, but you say you know him, and you say Yahushua is in you, that's going to be hard to explain. If you know him, you would keep his commandments, as the scripture said. Let's go back to St. Matthew, the 19th chapter. And this is love. This is true love. This is how you show true love to the Most High. Not parties and all that craziness. Yeah, you show true love by being obedient and doing the things that he say to do. And this is St. Matthew, the 19th chapter and the 17th verse. And he said unto him, that he is Yahushua, is in the red. Why callest thou me good? There is none good but one, that is the Most High power. But if thou wilt enter into life, keep the commandments. We keep going back to these commandments. We keep going back to these commandments. Let's stay in St. Matthew, and let me get the... Okay. Let's stay in St. Matthew, let me get the 24th chapter and the 12th verse. And it reads, and this is what's going to happen. St. Matthew 24 and 12. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. That love is keeping the commandments. I'm going to keep reiterating that. And the love of many shall wax cold, because iniquity shall abound. When you go into that word iniquity, by definition, it means lawlessness. So because lawlessness shall abound, it's going to become greater. The love of many shall wax cold. In other words, keeping the commandments, as far as an example, stealing from your neighbor is going to become more prevalent, because their love is going to wax cold. They won't have a fervent love for their neighbor, or a fervent love for their nation, or a fervency to do the will of the Most High, which is love him by keeping his commandments. All right. Let's get another scripture as far as the supporting scripture. And this is 1 Corinthians, the 7th chapter, and the 19th verse. And it reads, circumcision is nothing, and uncircumcision is nothing, but the keeping of the commandments of the Most High power. And don't forget, there are not no two sets of commandments, as I admonishing you to go to St. Matthew, the 5th chapter, and study the words of Yahushua, in which he magnified commandments. Yahushua and the Father are one. All right, they are one. There's no separate commandments. You have the Lord commandments and the Most High commandments. No, it's one commandment which we have from the beginning. All right, because Yahushua died for us, that does not mean we get to break the commandments. We keep the commandments. We keep the Lord to the best of our ability, and we establish it as Romans, the 3rd chapter and the 31st verse says to do. And one more reiterating. Let's go to 1 John. Very popular scripture that the brother in the Being the Know bring out. 1 John 5 and 3. And it reads, for this is love, for this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments. And his commandments are not grievous. They're not heavy to hold. They are not burdensome to not steal, to not cheat, to not commit adultery, to not commit idolatry, and so on and so forth. These are not grievous to keep. Actually, you should be shamed to break such laws. You should be shamed to not keep those commandments. And one more scripture before I close it out. And let's see who's going to be blessed in the end. And this is Revelation, the 22nd chapter, and the 14th verse. And it reads, blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life, and may enter in through the gates into the city. Blessed are they that keep the commandments. So if you're not a commandment keeper, you won't be blessed. And I hope this was edifying, that the Lord shew mercy, that I'm able to build any brother up in the faith, and that you know now what is true love. True love, as according to the scriptures, the true love of the Most High Power, Yahweh Supreme, is keeping the commandments. Shalom.